Hi, dear students. Hope all of you are fine. This platform is mainly for you to help you to prepare for your coming examinations. I wish to share with you some of your modules coming under morphology topic. So let us begin with the study of flower. So a flower is a modified condensed shoot, and it is mainly for sexual reproduction in higher plants. We all know about the green leaves, vegetative parts of the plant mainly for photosynthesis. So, flower also contains some floral leaves that are meant for reproduction. It is actually a modification of the vegetative leaves. There are some evidences to support this view. One example you can have the vegetative buds in the agave plants, onion, etc. And also some other view to support this is in the case of rose, you can see the thalamus that elongate form a vegetative branch. Then the axil of a small leaf from which the flower arises, that's known as bract. It is a small leaf-like structure from which the flower arises. Then there are some other technical terms. One is the receptacle or the thalamus. It is actually the flat or cup-shaped structure from which the floral appendages are arises. Then flower having a small stalk, or it is actually, you can call it as a version of an internode, that's called pedicel. Then small leaf-like structures are also present in the pedicels, that are known as bracteoles. Then about the floral parts. So there are essential whorls and non-essential whorls for a flower. The outermost whorls are the non-essential whorls. It are two types, calyx and corolla. So calyx is a leaf-like structure that contains sepals. They are usually green in color. Corolla is the colored portion. You know, insects, butterflies attracted a flower because of the presence of this corolla. So they are highly colored, variously colored, and they are having petals, and these petals are brightly colored. And in certain cases, you cannot distinguish this calyx and corolla. In such cases, you can call it as perianth. Then let us pass on to the essential words of a flower, that are androecium and gynoecium. Androecium composed of stamens, gynoecium composed of carpels. So take an example of a stamen. A stamen is having a small long structure known as the filament. At the top of the filament, its anthers are attached. Anthers actually contain the microspores or pollen grains. In the case of carpels, it is otherwise known as pistil. You can see the base a somewhat globose structure or oval structure known as ovary, in which ovules are arranged and having a long thin style, and at its apex the stigma, where usually the insects are sitting. So this is an image of a flower where you can see all the parts very well, starting from the pedicel, outer whorls and inner whorls, etc. Then let us have familiar with some of the technical terms. What are bisexual and unisexual? A flower with both male and female organs are called bisexual flower. A flower with only one of the sex organ present, you can call it as unisexual. If it is androecium, you can call male flower. If it is gynoecium, you can call female flower. Then a flower with the bract is bracteate, without bract is ebracteate. A flower with the pedicel is pedicellate, without pedicel is sessile. Then a flower with floral parts in 3 and its multiples are trimerous, 4 and its multiples tetramerous, 5 and its multiple pentamerous. Then another very important term while discussing the flower is inflorescence. So what is an inflorescence? Inflorescence is actually the cluster of flowers or flowers arranged in groups. An inflorescence is having an axis that's known as rachis. It's also having a stalk known as peduncle. You have to differentiate it from pedicel. Pedicel is a stalk of the individual flower. Peduncle is a stalk of the inflorescence. Then flowers present in an inflorescence, individual flowers, you can call it as florets. Now another classification based on the symmetry. So just imagine in your hand there is a single flower. You just try to cut it in one vertical plane. When you will get two equal halves, you can call such flowers as actinomorphic. And when you cut in a vertical plane, you are not getting two equal halves, you can call it as zygomorphic. But when you cut it in different planes and you cannot get in a equal halves at any plane, you can call it as asymmetrical flowers. Then based on the position of floral warts, the flowers are again classified into three types: hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. That is actually the position of the ovary or gynoecium is considered here. If gynoecium is at the top, you can call it as superior ovary, and all other floral whorls like sepals, petals, stamens arising below from the gynoecium, call it as hypogynous. And if gynoecium position is at the lowermost part, that is inferior, all floral whorls arise above the ovary, you can call it as epigynous. And there is a one category in which you cannot differentiate the gynoecium into superior or inferior, in the somewhat in the middle portion, or all floral whorls at the rim of the thalamus. That is known as perigynous. Example for hypogynous is shoe flower, perigynous is clitoria, and epigynous is ixora. Then based on the other floral whorls like calyx and corolla, if the sepals of a calyx is united, you can call it as gammosepalous. If it is free, you can call it as polysepalous. If petals are united, you can call it as gammopetalous. If petals are free, you can call it as polypetalous. Then another important aspect is estivation. That is the arrangement of sepals and petals in bud condition. How they are arranged. If sepals and petals do not overlap at the margin, you can call it as valvate estivation. So they are never overlap each other. If they are overlap, one in, one out, one in, one out, a particular pattern, that's called twisted. If they are overlap but in different directions, you can call it as imbricate estivation. Valvate, twisted and imbricate. Then classification of imbricate, it's of two types: descendingly imbricate and ascendingly imbricate. In the case of descendingly imbricate, common feature of Fabaceae family, one example you can have Crotalaria flowers. There are standard petal, wing petal and keel petal. So posterior petal overlap one margin of the two lateral petals. That is descendingly imbricate. In the ascendingly imbricate, just opposite that of descendingly imbricate, here innermost odd petal, that is overlapped by one margin of two lateral petals. That is observed in Caesalpinaceae family. That's an example is your Gulmohar or Mayflower. Then last one is quinquential estivation. Here two petals are completely out, two petals are completely in, and one petal is in and out. So in this picture you can clearly visible the different patterns of estivation: valvate, twisted, descendingly imbricate, ascendingly imbricate and quinquential. Now let us pass on to androecium. So androecium is also classified into different groups. Based on the
attachment of filaments to anther, they are basifixed, adnate, dorsifixed and versifixed. So what is basifixed?
So this picture clearly indicates basifixed, adnate, dorsifixed and versatile anther. So in the basifixed anther, you can see the anther at the base of the anther, filaments attached. Then about cohesion and adhesion. This is another two important phenomena. Union of stamens among themselves is called cohesion, and it is of three types: Adelphi, then synandry and syngenaceous. Adelphi is of three types. What do you mean by Adelphi? Filaments are fused, anthers are free. There are three categories. Monadelphous, filaments are fused to form one single bundle. Example P. Diadelphous, filaments fused to form two bundles. This picture clearly explains monadelphi, diadelphi and polyadelphi. Here you can see the another two pattern also, that is syngenaceous and synandry. Polyadelphous condition means more than 2 bundles fuses. Syngenaceae means anther fused but filaments are free. Synandry means anther and filaments fused, means whole stamen fused in Synandry. In Syngenaceae only anther fused, filaments are free. Syngenaceous is common feature of Astraceae family. Synandry is common feature of Cucurbitaceae family. Then another category is the adhesion, the union of stamen with other floral buds. Episepalous, epipetalous, epiphyllous and gynandrous. Episepalous means filament fused with sepals. Epipetalous, filaments fused with petals. Epiphyllous means filament fused with tepals, epiphyllous. Gynandrous means anther united with stigma, forming a structure called gynostegium. Then in the case of gynoecium, two important aspects, that is apocarpus and syncarpus. If carpels are free, it is apocarpus. If carpels are fused, each other, it is known as syncarpus. So let us stop here, and we here finished the first part of your that module, that is the basic features of flower.